All right, welcome. Before we get started, I want to kick this off with a very quick story. So who here watches football? To be honest, I don't really watch football, but I think this story is absolutely fascinating. So this photo here is Vince Lombardi. If you've never heard of Vince Lombardi, he's one of the most famous coaches in NFL history. So Vince Lombardi was the coach of the Green Bay Packers in 1961. Now, the Green Bay Packers in that year went all the way to the Super Bowl, the finals, but then they lost. It was a tragic loss. They lost by like 1 point. So anyways, the next season comes around and the players come into training camp and they think they're going to pick up where they left off and, get ready to go back to the Super Bowl. Vince Lombardi picks up the football and says this phrase, which is one of the most famous phrases ever in football history, which is, "Gentlemen, this is a football." They proceeded to only working on the basics throughout the entire training camp and the entire year, which is blocking, tackling, fundamentals. That's it. They went on to win the next Super Bowl with a score of 37-0, and Vince Lombardi never had a losing season after this. This underlines the basic premise which Vince Lombardi knew, which goes for every business owner, which is the fundamentals are the key, and that's oftentimes what we're going to talk about today. So let's go through the presentation over here. Now, I'm going to talk about how do you work less and make more money. Who doesn't want to work less and make more money? I definitely do. Now, there's 3 to 4 main unlocks to run your Maid business like a franchise, and you didn't have to spend the money on an actual franchise. I'm going to dive exactly into that. Now, you might be saying, all right, dude, who are you and why are you giving this presentation? I'm going to quickly dive into that too. So my name is Neel, in case you don't know who I am. I'm the founder of MaidThis Franchise. We have over 30 locations across the US. We're a maid service franchise focused on residential as well as commercial cleaning, and we do a lot of Airbnbs as well. I started my own cleaning business in Los Angeles in 2013, so it's been a while. And that business has generated well over $10 million in revenue. I have a general manager who runs it. I spend maybe 2 to 5 weeks on that business alone and spend most of my time in the Maid Service franchise, helping out my franchisees to replicate exactly what I did from my local location. Prior to that, I worked in tech venture capital. So I was a corporate yuppie, decided I wanted to quit that, start a cleaning company, and travel the world. So I was a digital nomad for 7 years. Currently, I'm actually still posted up. I'm in Africa right now. I'm in East Africa in a country called Rwanda. I've been here for 6 months and I manage my entire business totally remote. And I'm going to teach you exactly how I did this and most importantly, how to work less and make a lot more. So if you want to find me, by the way, I have a podcast I've been running for about 4 or 5 years called The Freedom Formula. I interview people who've achieved time, location, and financial freedom and just reverse engineer how they did it to teach you exactly how to do it too. I also recently started my own YouTube channel. You can check that out where I talk about the travel lifestyle, talk about cleaning businesses, talk about business tactics, everything in there. So feel free to check that out. So I want you to meet Doug and Carmelina. Doug and Carmelina are new MaidThis franchisees. But they didn't start this way. They actually were running their own cleaning business. So they started their own cleaning business in 2017. It was very successful. Carmelina immigrated to this country and her and Doug met and they decided to open up this cleaning company. And they have customers who absolutely love them. They're absolutely killing it. They were doing around $50,000 a month when we met. They had a couple main issues with the business. The main pains were this. Carmelina was a fantastic cleaner. She ended up hiring her own crews and she felt like she was always covering for her cleaners. People would call out, she'd scramble to cover the job. She'd go out in the field. She wasn't able to actually work on scheduling as much as she wanted to. And she was just kind of stuck, right? She wanted to have great quality, a great customer experience, but she kept having issues with the cleaners. Who else has been in that situation? I have, absolutely. This is a very, very common situation to be in. The other pain on Doug's end, they were a power couple, husband and wife team. Carmelina would handle the cleaning side, Doug will handle everything else, right? And that was the pain where Doug was handling the calls, the complaints, the admin work, the marketing, the tech, everything. And they didn't really have that much free time. They're working 7 days a week. They've been doing this for years. They were stuck around the revenue size they were at. They wanted to grow. They wanted to make more money. They wanted to work less. And, they fell into the trap that a lot of people do, which is they think they can make more money by using their back instead of their brain, right? They were physically going and doing the work, and that's not the way of achieving a large scale business. But they had fantastic client base. They just knew something had to change. So what happened is they ended up partnering with MaidThis, and they converted their cleaning company to MaidThis. They still own 100% of it. They're their own boss. They do everything they want, but they wanted to get our help. And I'm going to show you exactly what we did as a franchise to help them out and help change their business. Now, first thing is I want you to forget these MBA buzzwords. And what I mean by that is like, I kind of hate when people say, hey, just like work on your business, not in your business, focus on the highest value tasks. Like these types of things are very generalized statements. I promise I'm not going to say any of that kind of stuff. I'm going to show you exactly what we implemented with Doug and Carmelita to change their business, as well as what we do with our franchisees. And, guys, these are like 12 plus years of knowledge and mistakes and everything I've made that we systemized and rolled it out across the nation. I'm going to give it to you here for free, right? This is exactly what we do to scale businesses. Now, this is the fundamental question, and everyone hit pause and just think about this. What is causing you the most pain in your business right now? Right? Don't think about like what the business coach said, all these business books you read, whatever. Just say, answer this question. What's causing you the most pain? Is it that cleaners are constantly calling out? Do you not have enough customers? Is there just endless admin work? So you'd come back from the day, have to do a bunch of admin work. Which of these one things is causing you the most pain? Whenever you have that answer, I want you to only focus on that. Only fix that. That's what we're going to work on. And that's the first thing we diagnosed with Doug and Carmelita. Let's talk about unlock number one that we did with Doug and Carmelita. One of their biggest issues was they were out in the field. They get so many call outs that Carmelita could not do anything else besides cover for people or recruit people or train people. And that was kind of it, right? Their hiring funnel was really tough. They'd post a job on Indeed and get 100 applicants. And it would take all day to sort through these applicants. Who else has had that issue? Everyone has that issue, right? It's so hard to find good, reliable cleaners. So how do you get out of the field if you cannot do that? That was the big problem that they were struggling with. And here's exactly how we solved it. We implemented an automated cleaner recruiting machine. Now you might be thinking, Neel, like that sounds great. That sounds really freaking hard to do. I promise you it's not. I'm going to tell you exactly how we did it. So at MaidThis, we have a 5-step cleaner recruiting process. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. Step 1, the person fills out the online application. Step 2, we line up a intro call with them. Usually it's going to just be a phone call. Step 3 is we do a video call next. And this one's important because I want to see if they even show up to that call, right? Which is a big deal. Oddly, it's a big deal. Like people are applying for a job and sometimes they don't show up, but you know how it goes. We'll see if they show up to that call. We'll do another interview with them. Then we'll line up a test cleaning to see how they actually perform on the test cleaning, make sure they show up, and then cleaning and get them going from there. That's our 5-step recruiting process. Now, it's so many steps because I want to see if people jump through the hoops or not. The cool part is because everything is virtual to automated, people know how to use Zoom and Google Meet now. We did everything online through a software called Breezy HR. There's a bunch of these softwares out there that's just called applicant tracking system. Sometimes they're not cheap, it could be a couple $100, but it is totally worth it. Think about it this way. If you onboard one A+ cleaner, awesome cleaner, that cleaner could do 2 jobs a day for you, right? And each of the jobs is maybe $200. So that cleaner can make you $400 in one day. In 1 week, if they're working 5 days a week, that's $2,000 in revenue they can make for you. So if you're spending an extra couple $100 to find a really solid cleaner, that is totally worth it, right? So we implemented a system called Breezy HR. It's an applicant tracking system. We had them stop some of the marketing dollars and put everything into recruiting. Recruiting is by far the most important engine you could ever run. Don't even worry about customer funnels until you have really, really good cleaners. And we built an always hiring pipeline. This system's constantly recruiting people. And the cool part about the software system that we've implemented into their business is it automatically screens out people. People apply, but they're not a fit. It won't even show it to them, or they'll automatically decline them. So decrease like the 100 applicants down to maybe 30 to 40 qualified ones that Doug would call. Yep, it's exactly this. Auto-filtered candidates. We increased their daily ad spend for this, and we started hiring backup cleaners for them, even though they thought they were fully staffed, any backup cleaners. That was a huge unlock, right? Because with that, Carmelita could start getting out of the field. She could start working on the business. She could start investing in training for team members, doing other things. And it all comes to investing the money in cleaners. So that was very simple, the first unlock we did. Let's talk about the second unlock, and that was hiring a remote team member for them. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard about VAs and offshore talent, and sometimes it sounds really complicated, right? Like, there's someone from across the world who's going to help me out. You think about it and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have to manage this person, I have to train them, but I'm out in the field all the time. I agree, sometimes it's painful, but if you do it the right way, it's going to unlock so much time for you. And I'm going to show you exactly how we did this. This is the problem that we helped address with Doug initially. Doug was overloaded, right? He was doing all the sales, all the admin tasks. He was in the payroll. He's doing every single $10 an hour task out there. And if you're doing all these minor tasks, your time is worth way more than that. If you just got out in the field, you charge 50 or 60 bucks to do a cleaning, right, per hour, then why are you doing these random tasks you could give to someone else for $10? It doesn't make any sense. Those are the first things to start getting rid of. So we talked to Doug and we said, hey, what are the things you're working on? He gave us a list and we helped match him with a remote team member. So most of their cleaners are Hispanic and speak Spanish. So we found a remote team member for him in Honduras. And, within the MaidThis system, we help place remote team talent for our franchisees. So he didn't have to pay anything. We were able to find someone for him and place that for him. If you're doing this by yourself, though, you could go to Upwork.com. We use a solution called Dynamite Jobs for job ad posting a lot. There's another one we use called Sagan Passport as well. Those are the 3 top areas I recruit from. I love recruiting in Latin America. Most of my team in Los Angeles, they're all in Latin America. This remote team member we helped find for Doug was about $1,300 a month, right? That comes out to I think $6 or $7, something like $7 an hour or so. Within MaidThis, we have something called MaidThis Junior College, where it has a bunch of training materials for them. That way, someone gets hired, they could just go straight through that. If you don't have this, don't even worry about it. What you're going to do is you're going to hire someone first, and then you're going to start documenting every single thing you do. If you do a sales call, record it. Have them shadow you and have this person take notes on everything you're doing. That's the trick. Have them write all the SOPs and processes for you. This person is going to handle the admin and the calls and the quoting. Now, one mistake I see people make a lot when they do this, which is what we tell people to avoid. You're not going to find someone who's incredible at scheduling and at sales and at recruiting and at admin. Like that type of unicorn who's a replica of you, it just doesn't exist. It's really hard to find. So I want you to pick something. Either you're going to find someone who's really good at sales or someone who's really good at operations. That's all you're going to do at the beginning. Normally, I recommend finding someone who's really good at sales and have them do some operations stuff like cleaner recruiting and admin stuff. Eventually, you will find a second person to do the other job. But start with one who's stronger with one and get that kind of stuff off your plate. Then in a couple months, you find the next person. That's what I always recommend. The result now, check it out. Doug's no longer having to do sales calls. He's actually hiring his remote team member number 2 already. Right? He saves immediate time. He could focus on higher value tasks overnight. It's just incredible. It's very simple, fundamental things that everyone kind of knows they got to do, but a lot of people just don't do. And that's what we helped Doug implement. Now, next, I looked at Doug's business and I said, okay, Doug, let's do this. Let's take a look at all of your customers and find out which ones are actually valuable or not. Here was the problem. Profit margins were too low for the size of business they were at, right? And the reason is you have a lot of old clients who are on old pricing. And I think everyone has this. You have old clients, you're like, oh my God, I love this old lady. She's been with me for years. I feel bad raising prices on her. This is a common issue. People don't want to raise prices because they feel bad about it. Here's the problem though. If you don't raise prices, you don't have better money to pay your cleaners. You can't invest in better support for them. You can't get out of the field yourself. You're doing your team as well as the customers a service by raising prices. Why? Because then you could provide better support for them. You could do all these cool things for the team. You could help your team grow and scale. You could pay them more. You can get better systems and stuff for your customers. You have to be charging the higher prices. And the truth is, it's not even like you're raising the prices that much. It'd be a few dollars here and there just to get to the margins you need, right? Every single big company does this. Softwares raise their prices every single year. Every company out there raises their prices. You absolutely should too. Now, I'm not saying like, hey, just blanket raise prices for everyone. Here's the way of doing it. What we did is we took that list of all of their customers and we said, okay, which ones are we paying the cleaners way too much for? And we looked at those customers and we said, okay, from these customers, if your goal is to be, 40 to 45% cleaner pay, meaning if you charge $100 to the customer, paying the cleaner $40 to $45, which of these customers is not that and why? And as we went through line by line, we figured out, okay, there's these 10 customers that we could raise their price by 10 to $20. And immediately made, a few $100s of recurring profit overnight just from making that shift. The better part, though, in my opinion, what happened next. We looked at some of the customers who were PITB customers, which is pain in the butt customers. All of us have it. They're on a recurring program. You kind of sort of like them. They give your ops team trouble. They give your cleaners trouble, but they're bringing in money. You just leave them. And we tell all our franchisees, just fire those customers immediately. You can do it in a nice way, saying, hey, we're no longer servicing that area. We can't take care of you, whatever you can do. You'd fire those customers. And you might be thinking, Neel, it's like free money. You're telling me to give away free money? I'm going to go over and unlock number 4, exactly how to make up for it, but remove those pain in the butt customers, right? That's what you're going to do. It's going to help. Once you clean this up, you raise prices a little bit on the customers who need to, you remove the pain in the butt customers, you're going to find your operations team is so much happier. You can be able to bonus your cleaners more. There's more breathing room, right, for you to take on better clients. That's what this is about. So it's a very simple exercise. The next unlock is we help get them a bunch of free new customers. Now, I'm going to explain about this one because I'm actually extremely excited about this one. This is one where if you're not paying attention yet, if you're multitasking, focus right now, because I promise you the next 3 minutes is going to make you thousands of dollars. This is something which is incredible, which all of our franchisees run. So here's the pain. Doug was spending $2,000 per month on Google Ads, on SEO, all this kind of stuff. He's acquiring new customers constantly. The thing is, when I looked at it, their service was so freaking good. They had all from loved them. They got so many referrals. I kept thinking, they have such good service. Why are they spending so much money to get new customers, right? Now, here's what I noticed in general, what amateur business owners do, what a lot of new business owners do. I did this for a decade. People do this all the time. You do marketing, you get a new customer, you take the profit, and you do marketing. Then you get another new customer, then you do marketing, and you go over and over and over and over. This is what I call a leaky bucket funnel. This is incorrect. This is something that most new business owners do and amateur business owners do. But the truth is, there's something that professional business owners do, that large companies do, that they know that's secret, that they optimize more for, that small business owners don't even know what this is. And I'm going to tell you exactly what this is. They try to answer this question: how do I make each customer worth so much more so I could outspend my competition? That's it. Right? If each customer is worth way more money to you, you could outspend your competition and spend more to acquire that customer, and you're going to win every single time. Does that make sense? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? If every customer, instead of being worth $200 a cleaning, or let's say, $1,000 in total from all their cleanings, was worth $5,000, now you can spend a lot more to get that customer, right? Because they're worth 5 times more. So you might be thinking now, Neel, okay, what are you talking about? How do I make my customers worth more? I'm going to tell you exactly how. This is the funnel that professional business owners use. You do marketing, you get a new customer. Now I want you to focus on reselling, upselling, and cross-selling. Then you can get referrals and reviews and go over and over and over. You're adding a couple elements. By doing this, you will increase the value of your customers 3 to 4 times from this simple change here. I'm going to explain what this means in concept too. Now, here's what we did. We started getting email money. And I love this. This is one of my favorite things to do. We started milking the database and getting email money. Most people here, if I was going to bet, don't have a clean database. What that means is, do you have a place, a software, where you have all of your old customers, they're sorted by one-time customers or recurring customers. You also have a list of all customers who've churned, who are no longer working with you. Do you have that database? If you do, you're already way ahead of the game. You're killing it. Absolutely crushing it. If you don't, it's okay. Go back and grab this, put it in a spreadsheet, whatever. I'm going to explain exactly how we did this. Take this and put it in your own business. You'll make thousands more overnight. What we did is, first we cleaned up the list of all their old one-time customers. So we got an export of every single customer that they've cleaned that they cleaned the home for, who's not on a recurring plan, who hasn't booked with them on a recurring plan. And you might be thinking, all right, Neel, like, yeah, I do that too. We send them emails every now and then. I'm going to tell you a much better way of doing this. So first of all, get a list of every old customer you service, you don't actively service. Next, get a list of every old lead that you've ever been in touch with and quoted but haven't booked yet. What we're going to do is send out what I call a $24 unused account credit campaign. I'll explain exactly what this is. By the way, before I show you exactly what it is, I ran this recently for our LA organization. We sent this out to around 250 people. It was the email, text, and call. We generated in about 3 days, $3,569 in revenue on autopilot, automatically by doing this. Every single one of our franchisees does this like multiple times a year. It is absolutely killer. I'm going to explain exactly what this is. So for all of your old one-time customers, you're going to send a message that looks like this. Hi, customer name. It's Alonzo here from MaidThis. We cleaned your home a couple months back. I was going through your account and I noticed that you have $24 in unused account credit that is set to expire next week. Do you need a cleaning soon? Feel free to just reply here with what date you'd like a cleaning. I have all of your details already. I could rebook you instantly and apply the free account credit. P.S. I have 2 slots available for next week that just opened up. Boom. I'm going to explain why this works so well. Now you might be thinking like, unused account credit, Neil, what are you talking about? Whether they have unused account credit or not, don't worry about it. You're just going to say this. We're tapping into something called loss aversion. It's a human psychological thing. People don't want to lose something they think they have, right? If like a Macy's goes to you and says, hey, if you come in today, you're going to get a $50 coupon. That sounds nice. But if Macy's like, hey, you already have a gift card in your pocket for $50, but it's about to expire, you're probably going to go and spend that credit over there, right? People don't want to lose what they already have or what they think they already have. So what you're simply going to tell them is, you have unused account credit that's about to expire. That's the psychological tactic we're using right over here. Next, we're telling them, hey, I could rebook you instantly because you already have their details. So that's letting them know, hey, it's very quick. Just reply with the date. Super simple. I'm throwing in a final PS of scarcity. Hey, I have a couple of slots which just opened up. Let me know, right? They're like, oh, wow, they're actually really booked up. They must be super popular. Time we do this, we always get more and more business. Now, remember, you can't do this like every single week, it's every few months or something. But especially if you haven't touched your client base, your one-time client base in a long time, this works really well. Now, remember what I mentioned before. We just fired a bunch of customers for Doug and Carmelina. Right now, they have some free slots. And using this tactic, we were able to bring in much higher profit margin customers for them that they actually liked. And that's what we did. We ran this Rainmaker campaign and brought in a bunch of new business, and all of our franchisees do this as well. The bonus level, which I think everyone should invest in, we also helped Doug and Carmelina change their business from, this was their website before, and this is the new website, right? We just optimize it. It's franchise quality standard we spent on the business. We have branded emails, quotes, funnels, all that kind of stuff. Now, if you can invest in a high level website, totally worth it, in my opinion, especially in the long run. That's what we did for them overnight. They didn't have to touch anything. The transformation, and by the way, we're still in progress, right? Things are going to get better constantly, but we're starting to work on Carmelina getting out of the field, recruiting cleaners more on autopilot, making it that she doesn't have to jump and get out in the field to take care of her clients. We're helping them get a lot more profit with less chaos. Get rid of the bad customers, bring in the new customers, decrease the marketing spend, run Rainmaker campaigns. And we're helping setting them up on a path to reach $1 million plus in revenue, which I think they absolutely will and absolutely are going to crush it. Overall, the message is you absolutely can work less and make more just by focusing on the fundamentals. Now, what I'm showing you over here is nothing new. It's nothing secret. You don't need to buy a franchise. You could just steal these systems. And what we're focused on here is, again, just the fundamentals. That's all we implemented to make this massive change in their business. Now, when I created and made this system, like especially at the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing, right? I'd call the cleaners wanted to get paid at the beginning, and I'd say, all right, come outside. I'd give them cash. I had no idea what I was doing. And over time, over the last decade plus, I've learned what works and what doesn't work. And the way I've built the franchise system for my franchisees is to answer this question: how could you get results in half the time as a normal business owner without the headache? That's what franchisees are signing up for. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the MaidThis support system and actually what we do, and you could check it out for yourself. You could also see what we offer, and that way you could build it yourself if you want to as well. The biggest reason a lot of people join the MaidThis system, as well as Doug and Carmelina, who converted their existing business into a MaidThis, is the support, right? We do the tech, we do all the fundamentals, but we have an awesome group of other franchisees who are running the same model, and you're truly in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. Things we do, all the tech setup's done for you. If you hate tech, congrats, you never have to deal with it again, right? So we built a high converting website for everyone. We spent well over $20,000 building it. We're constantly tweaking and updating it and optimizing it. We do all the software system, all the automations. We build all the high converting email funnels, so the automated follow-up saying, hey, you've had a cleaning in a month, a cleaning in 6 months. Hey, here's a Father's Day promo. All that kind of stuff's done for you. and we built an automated cleaner recruiting funnel. All that tech setup by itself is worth well over $33,000. The marketing package. So if you do marketing by yourself, you're going to know about these prices already. You're probably paying $1,000 to $1,500 per month on SEO. If you're doing SEO, email marketing, right? Like custom email marketing, have someone write emails to your existing list for you. Getting that software system to even send those emails, doing graphics, posting on social media, getting a website chatbot, all these kinds of things add up. Like when I was running this by myself, I was spending $3,700 a month on this, which is $45,000 in a year, right? With the MaidThis system, all that's included as part of your package, right? The SEO is done for you, the local listing creation, email marketing. We post on your social media pages for you multiple times a week. We test new things for you and bring them to you so that we don't have to waste money testing stuff. All that kind of cool stuff is included. The next thing is MaidThis University. So when new franchisees join, let's say, pretend you join, you go through an 8-week process of learning everything from our system. We call it MaidThis University, and it's awesome, it's fun, it's virtual, it's part-time. We go over analyzing your pricing, how to shortcut the competition, seeing what the competition is doing and reverse engineer it. We go over our $1 million phone sales script. This is the exact script that's converted well over $10 million, to be honest, of business. So we go over exactly how to do it and coach you on it. We teach you about marketing for a couple weeks. What are the best tactics which are working across locations? Which ones should you avoid? We implement and teach you the 5-step cleaner recruiting funnel. We help you build your remote team talent and get them onboarded. And we go over a lot of different management systems which help you set up for scale and reaching $1 million plus. You, of course, get access to the operations manual as part of MaidThis system. The ops manual is 10 plus years of processes, mistakes, everything, all that's done and fixed, and you get access to this. Once you install this into your business, literally overnight, your business is more valuable. If you ever want to sell this thing, the person buying it is going to say, hey, can I see your ops manual? Congratulations, you have it already built out. The value of your business goes up literally overnight by just having this. Inside the ops manual, there's so many different things. It's endless. There's videos, there's processes. An example would be if you click into like the digital marketing section, we have a list of pre-written Facebook posts. You can literally copy and paste it and put in Facebook groups to market. And this is just one of 1,000 different tactics we have in there, but that's an example of something that's in the ops manual. And of course, when you join the MaidThis system, this is the biggest reason people join. You get dropped into what we call our Forever Support Program. So once you graduate MaidThis University, you're going to get access to all the other franchisees in a shared Slack channel. People say this is the most valuable part of the business. You get a dedicated one-on-one business coach. You also get brand support. We do a couple live conferences every year. You get all the marketing collateral done for you. All that kind of stuff is set up for you from the beginning. And of course, the biggest value of all of this, like you could spend the money building all of this yourself or hiring coaches, whatever. In my opinion, the biggest value is speeding up the timeline, avoiding mistakes. What you could get done in 5 years, maybe you could get done in 2 years. And how much more money is that? How much less headache is that? That's going to help you work less and make a lot more. Now, rounding it back up with Doug and Carmelina, the most important part for them was they wanted to keep 100% control of their business when they joined MaidThis. They thought joining a franchise system means they give up their identity. They're going to be this like boring corporate machine. That's not at all the case. They joined the system. They were able to use all of our tools and tricks to scale, but they kept 100% of their soul, 100% of their identity, and they have 100% control and ownership of their business. That was it, guys. Hopefully you learned a lot. If you want to ask me questions, follow up, I am an open book. If you want to learn more, check out this link. You could grab this QR code, get a hold of me. Also check out MaidThis Franchise if you're interested. We do a lot of conversion franchises where if you have an existing company, you could convert it into a MaidThis location, get on the rocket ship and grow. There's massive discounts for that as well. So feel free to just connect after the talk, just talk shop. Again, my name's Neel. I'm the CEO of MaidThis Franchise, and thank you so much for tuning in.